Luke 18:9. Also he spoke this parable. I googled it. A parable is a simple story with a spiritual truth. Jesus spoke a parable to them. To some who trusted themselves, that they were righteous and despised others. They looked down on others. Also he spoke this parable to those who trusted in themselves, that they were righteous and despised others. Luke 18:10. 2 men went up to the temple to pray, went up to the house of God. A Pharisee, I googled it, a Pharisee is a member of a Jewish group sect which strictly obeys the religious laws. And the other was a tax collector. Give me money. Tax collector, a Jew who was appointed by Romans to collect taxes, and they were usually hated. Jesus tells them a parable or story. 2 men went up to the temple to pray, one a Pharisee and the other a tax collector. Luke 18:11. The Pharisee stood and prayed thus with himself. God, I thank you that I am not like other men. I'm not like everybody else. I'm better. Extortionists, people who robbers, I'm better than all of them. The unjust, evildoers. The Pharisee prays. The Pharisee stood and prayed thus himself. God, I thank you that I'm not like other men, extortionists, unjust. Luke 18:11. Adulterers. So I wrote an adulterer cheating on his wife, his girlfriend and a wife. An adulteress, female, cheating on her husband. She has a boyfriend. Or even as this tax collector. I'm better than even this tax collector, collecting money. Thankfully, I'm not like those bad people, adulterers, or even this tax collector. Luke 18:12. I fast. I don't have any food twice a week, 2 times each week. I give tithe of all that I possess. I give 10% to the church, says the Pharisee. And the tax collector, standing afar off, would not so much as raise his eyes to heaven. He just couldn't look up. He looked down. The story from Jesus. I fast twice a week. I give tithe of all that I possess. And the tax collector, standing afar off, would not so much as raise his eyes to heaven. Luke 18:13. But beat his breast. Lord, God be merciful, saying, God be merciful to me. God, please give me mercy. A sinner. I'm branded a sinner. The tax collector. But beat his breast, saying, God be merciful to me, a sinner. Luke 18:14. I tell you, this man went down to his house justified. The tax collector went home justified rather than the other. The Pharisee went home not justified. For everyone who exalts himself, lifts himself up, will be humbled, brought down, says Jesus. I tell you, this man went down to his house justified rather than the other. For everyone who exalts himself will be humbled. Luke 18:14. And he who humbles himself, brings himself down, will be exalted. Jesus talked to those who look down on others. And he who humbles himself will be exalted.